Welcome everybody to the Latin Nerds Network. My name is Jose and this is my review for Superman. That's right, the highly anticipated kind of a new DC film with James Gunn directing, of course, who was over at Marvel for a while with Guardians of the Galaxy. Now he's kind of tasked to usher in this new regime, of course, of DC films, which it needed a change after everything with Zack Snyder and kind of really just a lot of negativity behind the prior iteration of this universe. Didn't quite succeed. The audience didn't connect with the audience and all that. So start fresh, and here we go. And I think James Gunn, who has a lot of experience in this area as a big comic book nerd, of course, he directed the Guardians trilogy, which is really good, of course, for Marvel. So now it's his opportunity. Can he kind of right the ship, if you will, and give us, I guess, a Superman which can be collectively adored by the fan base, right? Not as mixed as the last version was. Not like Henry Cavill's Superman, and like Man of Steel. So here we go. There's the one, it's come. This movie, before it even starts, has come on the fire for so many reasons and leaked reviews and whatever, negativity, and people didn't like this CG and this and that. People want to hate this movie because that's just how people are these days, and people are loving this movie. And that's how things are these days. It's just a love-hate thing, and no one's seen the movie yet until today, for the most part. There was some critics who saw it last week, and I'm sure some influencers also got to see it, but their reactions, have been pretty much kept in the dark for now until the embargo lifts. But that said, my thoughts on the film. Listen, I'm rooting for this. I want to see DC succeed. Why wouldn't I? Nerd here. I want to see all this geek stuff out in the ether, if you will, and be successful and get more DC films and et cetera, Marvel. And overall, listen, I don't think this was the film to kind of like break the doors down and bring in audiences back to DC. But that said, I really liked it. I really enjoyed this film. It was very fun, very entertaining. I like James Gunn as a filmmaker. I thought he did a really good job here. But, it's not a perfect film, and it's at times kind of odd, and I am kind of curious what the general public would think about the film. But listen, there's a lot of good stuff here. It really is. And Corey Sweat, right, who played Superman, I thought he was really good. Didn't make me forget about Henry Cavill, because I like Cavill as Superman, but that he did a really good job. And James Gunn really captured the spirit of Superman. He's this kind of this, not a choir boy might be the right term, but he's definitely out purely to do good. He's a very pure heart. There's a lot of hope in this film and what he's supposed to symbolize, right? Which is what was lacking in the last iteration of this. So I thought he did a really good job as Superman, and Clark Kent, of course. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. I thought she was really good, very good chemistry. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I thought was great, that he stole the show. A really good villain, and all that stuff worked. And listen, there's a lot of characters in this film that was a concern for many folks out there, and yeah, some of it was justified. There is a lot of characters here, so the film at times can be a little bit bloated, but it doesn't really take away from this being a Superman film, right? It's about him, about how human he really is. Very relatable. And it's really the Superman show with a lot of characters going on, which all service the character of Superman, right? We've seen Guy Gardner as far as the Green Lantern version of what a Green Lantern in this world. Hot Girl, of course. Mr. Terrific, who I thought was terrific. I thought he was great. I thought he was probably the best out of the side characters. Has a really cool action scene in there. I liked a lot. And the action overall is really well done, really well shot. I like the execution of it. CG was not always the best, but whatever. It's kind of par for the course for a lot of these films. But it really worked. He worked. There's a lot of James Gunn humor. That could be good and bad. At times it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I think James Gunn can't help himself. Sometimes it kind of undermines some things that things that are going on screen, right? And that's an example. This is non-spoiler, but this is a scene he has a conversation with Lois Lane, and it's a good conversation, but it's kind of distracting that something else is going on in the background, which is funny, but didn't quite fit and undercut, I think, what they were trying to do with that scene. Some people may like it, they may different opinion, I get it, but for me, things like that happen throughout the film. But for the most part, the humor does work, and it's not Superman just yucking it up, right? He is who he is, right? He's a central character. He's Superman. He's a good old American boy, I guess you want to call it, doing his thing. He wants to do good. That's his sole purpose. The humor comes for those around him, which I think is great. I didn't want it to be a joke fest throughout, and it's not. The tone is really good. It's very light. It's got some moments of heart, but again, my biggest, if I had a big issue with the film, is that it's weird, it's strange. It's James Gunn. We've seen, he uses a lot of obscure characters, and it worked in something like Gardens, because that's a really all area characters, kind of out there. I'm not sure if all that worked in this film. This moment's picking a second act, like just weird. It's like, what are we doing here? It kind of took me out of it at times. Some people may be off put by that, and I get it. I really do. But for me, the third act really came together really well. It was exciting. Some really cool scenes. Crypto I thought was great as well. I didn't mention him, the dog. I mean, come on, you're a dog lover. You're going to like what Crypto does here. Like I said, some really great scenes in here. Overall, a good, enjoyable, fun experience. It's imperfect, but ultimately I liked it, and I hope audiences really dig it. And I'll definitely say I definitely recommend you guys go watch it in the theaters and judge for yourselves. I'm going to assume there's going to be a lot of mixed reactions to this. I can see that based on what I see and people who I talked to coming out of the theater. But overall, it was a good experience. It was fun, entertaining. As a James Gunn's fan, I really liked what he did here. Again, and setting the stage what we're likely going to see moving forward. I just don't know if it was enough to really get the general audience excited about DC again. It's maybe just kind of a wait and see kind of thing, and see where this goes. I know Supergirl is next on board. A couple of end credit scenes, both of them were not good. It is what it is. So my suggestion, just to walk out and save yourself 10 minutes of credits, because it's really not good at all. Not for me anyway. It's not worth it. It didn't really set anything. If you're looking for something to set up the future of DC, that you're not going to find that in the end credits. You are going to find something in regards to that towards the end of the film, if that's what you're looking for, right? But overall, good experience, fun, entertaining. Really liked it. Just didn't love it, but it did enough to kind of really get me interested in what's coming up next on the pipeline from DC. I hope you guys feel the same way. But if not, you guys may hate the film. Comment below, let me know what you guys thought. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about afterwards. See you guys next time.